Right now you are inside a box. It has flat walls that meet each other at right angles. It has a ceiling that doesn't leak, a floor that isn't the ground, a door that locks. You are not thinking about any of it. For almost all of human history, none of those things existed. No corners, no flat floor, no lock. And people still slept somewhere. They raised children somewhere. They stored food. They stayed warm. They kept the rain off for hundreds of thousands of years. So when did humans start building homes? Not when did we build cities? That's the easy question. The harder one is this. When did a person look at a patch of ground, decide it belonged to them, and build something to prove it? The evidence doesn't start with a building. Buildings rot. It starts with holes, wood rots, grass rots, animal hide rots. Everything the first houses were made of disappears in a few hundred years. So archaeologists don't look for walls. They look for what the walls left behind. A post sunk into the ground leaves a hole. The wood rots away. The hole fills with darker soil. And that stain stays there for 20,000 years. Dig carefully enough, and a ring of dark circles appears. That is a wall. A gap in the ring is a doorway. A patch of hard-packed earth is a floor, flattened by feet. A circle of ash in the middle is where the fire was. The house is gone. The plan of it is still there. Sometimes you get luckier than that. At a site called Ohalo, on the shore of an ancient lake, archaeologists found huts made of branches and grass. Actual branches. Actual grass, around 23,000 years old. They survived for one stupid reason. They burned down. Charred wood does not rot. And then the lake rose and sealed the whole camp under mud. Inside, the floors were laid with grass bedding. There was a hearth just outside the entrance. And in one hut, the bedding was worn thin in one corner. Somebody slept in the same spot, night after night, 23,000 years ago. Now go north onto open steppe. No trees, no caves, no shelter of any kind. So what do you build with? In Ukraine, they found the answer. Houses made of mammoth bone, skulls set into the ground as foundations, jawbones stacked in overlapping rows like roof tiles made of teeth, long bones for the frame, tusks arched over the entrance, hides stretched across the top. One of these took the remains of dozens of animals and weighed several tons. This is not desperation. This is engineering, by people with no metal, no wheel, and no writing. And here is what they all have in common. We think of a house as walls. Walls with a roof on top. It happened the other way round. The first structure is a lean-to. Branches propped at an angle. Hide thrown over them. That is the whole thing. It has no walls at all. It is a roof standing on the ground. Everything after that is lifting the roof higher and finding something to hold it up. The wall was invented to keep the roof off your head. Then somebody brought the fire inside. Warmth. Light. Cooked food. Predators keeping their distance. And no chimney. For thousands of years there was no such thing as a chimney. The smoke filled the roof space and leaked out wherever it could. You can see it in the archaeology. Roof timbers black with soot. You can see it in the bones as well. Damage from a lifetime of breathing smoke. The first house kept you warm and slowly made you ill. That trade ran for almost the whole story. For a very long time, houses were round. Round is easier. No corners to work out. A ring of poles bent together at the top. Strong, quick, and warm. Then something changes. Houses go square. And it happens around the same time as farming. That is probably not a coincidence. You cannot extend a round house. Add to it, and it stops being a circle. A rectangle you can extend forever. Add a room. Add another. Share a wall with the neighbors. Farming produced things worth storing, and stored things need somewhere to go. The shape of the room you are in comes from that, though archaeologists still argue about how directly. Then it gets strange. In what is now Turkey, a settlement of thousands of people with no streets. None at all. The houses are pressed against each other, wall to wall, with no gaps between them. There is no front door. You get in through a hole in the roof, down a wooden ladder. The roofs are the streets. People walked over the town to get anywhere inside it. And under the floors, they buried their dead. You slept above your grandparents. Then, on an island in the far north, a village with no trees anywhere near it. So they built in stone. Not just the walls, the furniture. Stone beds against the wall. A stone dresser facing the door, the first thing you see walking in. Small stone boxes sunk into the floor, sealed with clay, probably to keep shellfish alive. 5,000 years old, and the layout still reads. Bed there, shelves there, fire in the middle. You could move in. So, picture the whole distance. Someone leaning branches together in the rain. Someone dragging a mammoth skull into place. Someone climbing down a ladder into their own roof. Someone setting a stone shelf against a wall and stepping back to look at it. None of them were building a house. They were solving one problem at a time. Keep the rain off, keep the heat in, keep the smoke moving, keep the grain dry, keep other people out. Every building you have ever admired has a name attached. An architect, a patron, a date. The most important building in human history has none of that. Somebody worked out how to keep the rain off and told somebody else, and it spread across the whole planet, and their name went nowhere. You are living inside the work of a person history did not bother to record.